The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network, and welcome to our review show here of WWE Night of Champions from the Jeddah Super Dome in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on May 27th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Karlifornia. This is Jooseyboy. What's going on, bro?
Dude, I am feeling great after watching this show, Night of Champions, which is rare for me because I normally feel like shit. Anyway, what a show it was. I would describe this show as being intriguing. I found it intriguing. I found as it went on, it kept my attention going throughout it. It kept my interest, even though the running time was still absurdly too long. So I'd say that that's my opening feeling out the gate there.
Right. Well, here's my opening feeling before we break down these matchups that took place on this card. The show is 3.5 hours long.
Yes.
And there's also an hour-long pre-show.
God.
It's called Night of Champions. Why can't we get the US title and the women's tag titles at least on the pre-show? Why can't you even fit it in on the main show? Because how many matches are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches. You could do 9 in 3.5 hours, considering I did the math, Jooseyboy. The wrestling on this show took up 96.5 minutes. And the show in total is like 210 minutes in length. So a lot of time on this show is given to things that have nothing to do with an in-ring match taking place. Probably entrances, which take forever. But what are your thoughts on that? How are your feelings on not having an Austin Theory title defense or the women's tag titles put on this show for Night of Champions?
I did notice it. I think that it's weird to have a Night of Champions and then one of your major title holders who you're trying to build as like one of the cornerstones of the upcoming generation of WWE superstars, the man who just beat John Cena at WrestleMania 39, you know, and he's not even on this huge fucking show called Night of Champions. He literally is one of the few talents that should have a built-in match on this card by virtue of having that United States title, let alone the fact that he's also being positioned in large part as an up-and-comer that everyone should give a shit about. By this point in his... Okay, so let's compare Austin Theory just quickly to somebody like Carlito Caribbean Cool when he first debuted on the show. And we all love a bit of Carlito. But when he first debuted, he showed up, he was arrogant, he was brash, he was cocky, he was doing things that pissed people off and disrespecting people in the locker room. But guess what? He was also winning matches. He very quickly became the United States champion. In fact, he became the United States champion by defeating John Cena, then up-and-coming star John Cena, to win that United States championship. And he never stopped bragging about it for about the next 2 years, even after losing the championship and continuing on, which they then later repeated that with the Intercontinental title for Carlito when he was drafted to Raw. But that's besides the point. Carlito felt like he mattered on the show because he came in, new on the scene, and shook things up. That's what they're trying to get across with Austin Theory. Why isn't he on a show like this? Women's tag titles, you're dead right on that as well. I mean, they're hardly even talked about or acknowledged as existing a lot of the time. But once again, you've got a show called Night of Champions. Give these ladies 10 minutes. Give them a match.
Yeah.
Let them have a nice tag match.
Yeah, you got a pre-show there if you can't fit it on the main show because you have to give so much time to these entrances which take forever. Because it is a long entrance way. I get it. But my concern here, Jooseyboy, is that we've got this new WWE World Heavyweight Championship coming in. You know, the IC title didn't make it on the last pay-per-view. The US title did. The US title didn't make it this time. The IC title did. I'm concerned that as time wears on, we're going to have these pay-per-views and both of those singles championships, after all the hard work that's been put into them with Gunther's reign, with the US title being defended against John Cena at WrestleMania or being in the Elimination Chamber, you know, that really put it up on a pedestal. I'm worried that they're going to go back to obscurity. Now we have another world title to have to deal with.
Yeah.
So that's just my concern.
Yeah.
But,
a valid concern, if you ask me. I think that's valid. I think you should put a poll up on the WZWA Network YouTube asking people if they agree that that's a concern, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, they'd agree.
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of a poll. So, bro, okay. We're starting the show off with this the tournament final here for the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It's Seth freaking Rollins taking on AJ Styles. This match goes 20 minutes and 40 seconds. Juicy Boy, what did you think?
Where do we even begin? Okay. You announced this new World Heavyweight Championship. Okay. A lot of people shout on the design of the belt. They've since, you know, mentioned that there's an eagle on it. There's a thing celebrating Bruno. I liked the look of the new belt. You know, get fucked. It's a title belt. Like,
I love it.
Just don't buy a replica of it if you don't like it, you know? Whatever. But anyway, they announced this new championship. People immediately go, oh, it's just a supplemental prize because Roman is the true champion and stuff. AJ Styles a few days ago. First of all, they have this tournament, and instead of just picking, say, the 6 or 8 top contenders, 4 from SmackDown, 4 from Raw, or whichever brand the title is going to be on, you know, pick 8 people from that brand and make that a tournament. But instead, they do 2 triple threat matches. AJ Styles, who's just come back from injury, in a recent interview that I read, he said that, you know, it was difficult coming back this time. He sort of had to retrain his body how to do certain things like running, jumping in terms of that explosive movement, and that it's been a little difficult for him. And he also said in an interview that I heard about earlier before I watched the show on Zoom, and he's asked about whether this new World Heavyweight title is a supplemental, and he basically says, in a nutshell, I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much says it is what it is. People are going to think that, but just wait until I win it, and then, you know, Roman can come after me, and I'll beat him too. Some shit like that. So basically, he's already admitted that even he thinks that it's a supplemental title, but that he's going to work with what he's got, basically. So now we get to the show. You know that these two are going to have a pretty good match, even if AJ Styles may be shaking off a little bit of ring rust in the beginning of the match, which I thought that he was. Nonetheless, you know these two physically are going to have a great match. I do not understand for the life of me why this opened the show. I think that you easily could have opened this show with Rhea Ripley versus Natalya, Gunther versus Mustafa Ali, or Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, and any of those matches would have gotten an equally huge reaction that they still got had they opened the show. But I'd argue that if you moved Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles a bit further down the card, it may have elevated the big fight feel of that match. That's my personal opinion. I still feel like a good ordering and a good format of a card is somewhat of a, you know, a promoter's art form. You know, having said that, I thought the match itself was very, very good. It's getting a Juicy Boy recommendation. Go out of your way to check it out. Not so much because I can't do it justice, but because I think it's a very interesting and now look into AJ Styles. It's sort of his first big singles match coming back from this injury, and you can actually sort of see him in a way working ring rust out in this match. And as it goes along and the crowd gets more into it, you can actually see AJ Styles sort of like start to loosen up, and the flow of the match starts to get better as it goes along. My final rating, therefore, ended up being a B-. I thought that the match itself was great. It was worthy of being the first contest for this World Heavyweight Championship. I like that Seth Rollins won it because for a while now, he's kind of been a character that's been in need of a title because he just sort of needs something like that to give meaning to all the pomp and circumstance of his character. So I like that. But the placement on the card, I don't think I can understand that.
Fair enough, bro. Yeah, like in reference to Seth becoming the first new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, I think, yes, that's probably the right decision there because, Roman has had this belt for 1,000 days. So Seth has kind of been a little bit lost because he's already had his shot at the belt. So what's he been doing? He's been having feuds with people here and there, but he's also had to go contend for the United States title several times. Yeah. And he's kind of a little bit beyond, a division like that now. Yeah. It's okay to come down from the main event and go for a belt like that for a while. But, a guy like Seth, a guy like Lashley, it's about time that maybe they get away from, the mid-card or upper mid-card championships. But yeah, it was off to a bit of a slow start, but it definitely picked up pace toward the end. I liked a lot of the tit for tat that those two were doing there, with the evasions of the Pele kick and the stomp and all that stuff. So like these two definitely work well together, bro. Loved the reverse superplex off the top rope. That was sweet, nuts, dude. Nuts.
Fucking sweet, man. And only a guy like AJ would be fast enough to get his footing as quickly as he did. Because if you notice, when Seth actually jumped up to the top and fucking grabbed him, AJ's feet weren't even on the top turnbuckle. They were on the second turnbuckle and his shins were still against the top rope. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yep. So I think after this, AJ needs to do something important again. Agreed. Before the injury, he was kind of, I think him and the OC lost a match against the Judgment Day and a 6-man. So I think he needs to get back into that important kind of area of the card again. But yeah, no, good start to the show, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
So let's move forward, bro. Next up, Becky Lynch in this kind of grudge match here with Trish Stratus, the newly improved heel Trish Stratus that we've been dying for, showing everyone how it's fucking done, son. 14 minutes, 50 seconds, this one, when I couldn't have been more thrilled with it. Yeah. My homegirl Trish showing she could hang in there with Charlotte when she had that match with her. Now this time with Becky. It's not a one and done. The story will continue. I can't wait to see what's going to come from this. This is very cool because it seems like they bring in a leader. They bring in a Trish, in the Vince kind of era. They come in and they'll lose to the current prop. So it was such a breath of fresh air to see Trish actually win this one because usually they bring in the older talent to put over the newer talent, usually. One note, the manhandle slam is atrocious. It's atrocious. I think Becky really needs to stop using it. It just doesn't work. She's not big enough for it to look right. It always looks a little bit off. It looks like a backyard wrestler hitting a rock bottom on their friend on a trampoline. I did love the interference from Zoe Stark from NXT to help Trish win this. And of course, the Stratus faction got the pinfall victory. Be interesting to see how this little team of Trish and Zoe go. I was kind of hopeful. This is just me. I was kind of hopeful that Lita might turn heel and side with Trish as well. Go back to the old skanky kind of Lita that was with Edge, the heel that she portrayed was really good. Maybe bring in like a Victoria, maybe get Molly Holly to join them too. Have like the ladies from that era come together and say that this women's revolution is bullshit. They were fucking putting in the hard yards before all these ladies, and they should run roughshod. until Becky and Charlotte and Bailey are forced to have to fucking unite to battle them. I think that would be a very cool storyline.
A cool Survivor Series match.
Absolutely. A War Games match, perhaps. But yes, how good is Trish, bro? Take it away. What did you think of Becky and Trish?
To be honest, man, I thought that both of these ladies look like major league stars, but I think that Trish Stratus I think Trish Stratus had the match of her career, to be honest, like one of the matches of her career in this match. I think that when she was coming down to the ring and the way she looked and the poise that she carries herself with and the professionalism and, they're introduced Edge's return and now Trish Stratus's return. And I'll throw Rey Mysterio in there as well. His current run has cemented in my mind the new concept of Hall of Famers continuing on or having another run after their induction. And there will be a standard now that these people are going to have to sort of start living up to if they're going to come out of retirement after being inducted. Because, a standard is being set here by Edge and now Trish Stratus in this performance, in this entire storyline and this match in particular. I think she looked absolutely tremendous. I think she owned the stage. I think she owned the arena. Every single opportunity that she had, she was saying, do whatever you do it. Shower me in it. See if I give a shit. I own this. This is all for me. You all came here for me. I know that you all filled this place wanting to see me. Like, that's the way she carried herself. That is what a heel does. That is classic Trish Stratus from the golden era, only turned up to 11, evolved to a new level. There's now this more cunning, shrewd element added to it, whereas the original Trish Stratus in her prime had a bit more of a, let's say, kind of a jealous streak that ran through her that kind of made her do stupid things at times that bit her in the ass. But here we see a much more cerebral Trish Stratus. And, I think Becky in her Kill Bill / Bruce Lee inspired attire did tremendous as well. I think that the way that she carries herself and holds herself is also fitting of a star, and she's really starting to earn that perception from me with just performance after performance after performance that I really think are quite impressive. My final rating for this match is a B+, which means I actually rated it higher than the opening match, which I also liked. I was just thrilled by Trish's performance, but also I really enjoyed that Becky still looked like very formidable coming out of this, even though she lost.
Excellent, bro. Thoughts on Zoe Stark debuting?
I think that it was tremendous. I like the choice of attire. She was still obviously covered up head to toe, as is the required protocol in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But she was in some jeans, some boots, leather motorcycle jacket.
Sick.
She had her hair done nicely, in a conservative but still cool looking way. Shows up, hits the badass looking finish on the outside, rolls her inside. Trish gets the win. And basically every wrestling fan, especially male, from the last 20 years, stood up and gave her a standing ovation, either physically or mentally, because it was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that they make the ladies wear these outfits now, but
I think they
Trish wearing that tight outfit, it's still sexy, bro.
I think
it's
that, dude,
really
honestly, I'm gonna just quickly make this general note on the women's outfits. I know that they have to cover up because it's mandated in Saudi Arabia, but you know what? They're doing what I have to give the WWE credit for. They've made the best of it. Now they're kind of making it a thing that they've got these modified outfits for the Saudi Arabia show, and the outfits themselves being modified that way. They're designing it around that. So I thought that Becky looked great. I thought Trish looked great. I thought Rhea looked great. I thought Asuka looked great. I think that that's an actual an added element that makes the women's matches in Saudi Arabia a bit more intriguing. They managed to sort of flip that restriction and turn it into something interesting.
And they still look hot.
Oh man, they all look gorgeous.
Like
just
Trish's
beautiful.
Butt in that tight outfit. She's like,
she's stunning woman.
Got it, bro.
Stunning woman.
Got it, you know. You still got it. Yeah, you know, when it comes to Trish, you know it's time to rock and roll, bro. You know that she's in control.
Oh man, did you love that they added the extra line from Lil Kim at the beginning? Like at the right after the laugh, it says, you know.
Yeah. She owns the streets, bro.
Yeah, man.
She's got the keys to the city because that's how she gets down, man. All right, let's move forward, bro. This is delightful. It's a delightful show so far. Intercontinental Championship. Gunther with Imperium. Taking on Mustafa Ali. 8 minutes, 35 seconds. This one went. Foregone conclusion, but a welcome one, I think. Yeah. Take it away, bro.
Right. Okay. Mustafa Ali. Fabulous hair. Fabulous hair. Let's actually just take a second and think about that. You know, if we can, I don't know if you noticed, but just very tremendous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, you talked to a bald man about hair here, okay? So.
Yeah, I know. The crowd was really into Mustafa, home country boy. They're really into it. I think that he really rose to this occasion. I liked the way that they showed a clip of him winning the Battle Royal on Raw, which got him this match. I liked the fact that he won it in a creative way. He eliminated two people that he shouldn't have been able to, given his stature within the company, but he was able to do it. So now he somehow managed to finagle his way into this match. And I like that the commentators aren't so restricted now. The commentators are saying things that are obvious now. They're not just pretending certain things aren't the way they are. So they're actually talking about basically Mustafa Ali has no chance in this match. He's just ended up in here, but he's likely going to get smashed. But he obviously has the element of it being his home country and stuff. I thought he performed tremendously. I thought he was given, he being Mustafa Ali, was given just the right amount of offense. There were a couple of near foot, like that big super kick that made Gunther spit out at the end. I mean, that really got me. And I think it was the second dive by Mustafa Ali. There was like a close near fall towards the end that, you know, really
the 450 splash, maybe.
Yes. And it really got me. I was like, oh, because for a second I really thought he was gonna lose it. And I couldn't imagine that. So it hooked me, and I love being hooked. I gave this a C+, because obviously it was a foregone conclusion, and it was just kind of there on the show. And I worry that Mustafa Ali is just gonna be put back on the shelf until they need to pull him out to have another great job match with somebody. He's almost become like the Dolph Ziggler of this era, but they're not even giving him the level of respect that they eventually gave Dolph Ziggler. So,
well, you know, for it being a foregone conclusion, I think that it's a testament to them to get ya and make you think for a second, put that seed of doubt in your mind that he might have actually won this match. But you know what? Before I get on with the match, again, I just want to reiterate, Gunther is such a better name than Walter. I don't know why everyone got so.
It's been growing on me. It's honestly, when they first did it, I thought it was weird, but it's actually been growing on me. Like
Gunther,
something about the gu. It's just the strong gu sound, and the word gun is it. It just sounds, you know, Gunther instead of like Walter.
Walter sounds like a guy's like a ceramic tiler.
Well, I mean, Killer Kowalski's name was Walter, like Walter Kowalski.
Yeah, well, that's why he changed it to Killer Kowalski. It's not walking around going, I'm Walter Kowalski. He's Killer, you know. Fuck, come on, man.
I am Gunther Kowalski. I will eradicate.
How good would Gunther Kowalski? That would be better.
Amazing.
Okay, so Gunther has brought prestige back to the IC title, and I think Imperium might be my favorite act in the WWE right now. I love when Ludwig Kaiser does the introduction, and both him and Vinci are standing there like this, and both go towards Gunther. I think that's just great stuff. How serious do you guys take yourselves? It's amazing.
Yeah, but
like, what
you can also
beings are they?
I can see behind their eyes every time they do it that they have fun with it. Like I can see it. I can see it when they do it.
I think they're fantastic, Vinci and Kaiser, and I hope once this whole thing with Owens and Zayn is done with fucking the Bloodline, I hope eventually Imperium become tag team champions. I think all three of them need to hold gold. I don't want them to just be like Gunther's backup. I want them to show that they're also a formidable force. So this was a very good match. Props to Ali for that tight 450 splash. That was really, really just flush as fuck. And you know, like if you hit a 450 splash on WCW Revenge as Juventud and you hit it flush and he stays on him for the pin, the feeling is just so good when you hit it flush like that.
Yeah.
Good to just power bombing him and folding him up after entertaining Ali's offense for far too long and just ending it. I really like that too.
Very old school wrestling.
Very good stuff. And one more question before we move on, Juicy Boy. Does Gunther break Honky's record?
I hope so. I would like to see that for Gunther. I think that'd be cool. I love Honky though as well, man. You're always
you know, I love Honky. You know, I love Honk.
I love Honk.
You know what? Like, I wasn't big on the New Day beating Demolition's record. But if you know Honky's record's going to be broken, Gunther's the guy. Okay, let's move forward. 3 matches to go here. 4 matches technically. WWE Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defending against Asuka. This one went 15 minutes flat. I've got 5 notes. I'm really digging the heel side of Asuka. The angle going in looked interesting with the mist and all that. This is like an element that Bianca has not really had to deal with too much during her reign. She's just had to rely on the fact that she's the EST, strongest, fastest, whatever, the best athlete. And she's been able to hold the belt for so long, but this added element adds a interesting part of psychology here. So I really enjoyed that. Asuka attempting a mist, Bianca managing to avoid it, but then Asuka dipping her own fingers in her mouth to gouge the poisonous mist into Bianca's eyes. Brilliant. I've never seen that before.
Incredible. I loved it.
To a mist. Very cool. And of course, you know me, bro, I've been complaining about Bianca's title reign for some time. I feel like she's become very bland, as Gordon Ramsay would say. It's just very bland. But, you know, I was stoked to see a fresh champion here and for Bianca to cop a loss finally to, you know, maybe see her in a different kind of position than I've seen her in this dominant fucking run. So I'd like seeing her now. She had a peak and now she's going down a valley. So let's see how she goes there. But cool stuff. What did you think of this matchup?
Yeah, well, my sentiments largely echo yours. I mean, I've been a bit more of a fan of Bianca, I think, than you have. I think she's fantastic, but I liked that we were starting to see a bit more of an edge on her. Like, she was pissed off at Asuka because Asuka had fucked her over by doing the mist. They mentioned it on commentary. They did a good job of reminding the audience and people that might not have seen her that Bianca invited Asuka to celebrate with her as a friend, and Asuka fucked her over. So in storyline, of course, she's going to be pissed off. And she acted that way throughout this match. And I was pleasantly surprised to see Asuka get the win. I thought it was well-deserved. I thought it caught me by surprise in a, like, oh man, I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh yeah, but I loved the finish with the mist. I also don't think I've seen that before. When she missed it the first time.
When she missed the mist?
Yeah, when she missed the mist the first time, I thought Bianca was going to hit the TKO and win the match there. And then when Asuka kicked out of the TKO, I thought, oh, this is intriguing. But then when I saw that little camera shot, she goes over there, she drools some of it onto her own hand. It's kind of like gross, like, you know, like a predatory animal, like putting their own venom on their hand. You know, that was the visual I got from her. Then she sort of smears it on her face. That is a classic old school wrestling finish. I like it. Brother, I gave it a C-.
Yep, fucking sick. Yeah, she missed a missed.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Different element, you know, to worry about there. Okay, next up was another women's championship match, the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley, champion, taking on Natalya. This went 1 minute and 10 seconds. Jooseyboy, what the fuck was this?
This was an absolute fucking dud. It receives no rating. I don't understand why it was on there.
They're running out of time.
I am embarrassed I'm embarrassed that Rhea Ripley was made to go and do this to someone that she probably respects. Like, I'm embarrassed that Natalya had to fly all the way from the United States to Saudi Arabia. Like, seriously.
1 minute, 10 seconds.
Honestly, Natalya has been with the WWE for almost 15 years, and she has consistently been phenomenal. She is always there to, when they bring some new female talent onto the roster that, you know, hasn't been on the main roster for long, they put him against Natalya. Natalya usually cops a loss to him, ends up in a bunch of tag matches with him. You know, clearly she's someone that helps out in the, I'm a little bit pissed off with the fact that Natalya was the one that was stuck in this spot. There was nobody else that you could have like trotted out there if you wanted to just have Rhea run through somebody. Like, it was just bull. Then Natalya comes out with the nice gear that's a tribute to the Hart Foundation and to her dad, and gets beaten that way. It's heat in the wrong way, because Natalya is liked by the fans, and I think it's a bit disrespectful.
I think maybe you're being a little bit of a pussy about this, bro.
Well, that's the way that I fucking feel about it, right? It's getting a dud rating.
Oh no, I was surprised. I was like, oh shit, okay, it's over already. But maybe they were running out of time, because somehow they were running out of time. Possibly.
Oh, but no, they weren't running out of time. They still had 26 and a bit minutes to give to the tag team main event. They're running out of time.
Let's move forward, bro. Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes 2, which goes 9 minutes and 40 seconds. I was super excited for this one. I was interested to see what the psychology was going to be going into it, with Cody having the broken arm. You know, I did like the hope spots with the use of the titanium cast. So yeah, this was cool, and it was, you know, a chance for Cody to showcase his selling and the never say die baby face thing, which I understand. You know, that's what he does. Which is the kind of thing that irritated me in AEW, but for some reason in WWE, I haven't got a problem with it. I wonder why. I assume this will head to one more pay-per-view with Money in the Bank in London, where Cody may finally beat Lesnar before heading off to face Reigns at SummerSlam. But who knows? I thought this was exactly how the match should go. I think Brock definitely needed a win here. And I think it's really interesting to have Brock beat him by making him pass out, because it kind of, even though Brock knows he won, it still kind of pissed him off that he didn't get to make him tap out, or he didn't, you know, beat him.
He didn't even let go after the bell rang. He kept it locked in.
Yeah, so I think that'll be interesting to see how, you know, the character of Brock reacts to that, because, you know, I think he'd want to be able to say, like, he made him scream and tap out and, you know, say that, you know, you're the man. But it ended the way that I thought it should. And hopefully next time we get a 100% Cody versus 100% Brock, and it's a bar burner for the ages. I can't believe how much my tune has changed on Cody. Remember how much I hated him in 2021, bro? I despised him. I really didn't like him. It's amazing.
Remember.
Bro, what did you think?
I love that these Brock Lesnar matches have been feeling like fights. This match felt like an MMA fight almost, in not in sort of the style, but in sort of the length of it and the kind of the feel of it. It actually felt like sort of a big fight. And in real life, a fight that's this physical, it's not going to go longer than 10 minutes, you know. So the length of this worked really well for me. I like the fact that they revisited the finish from Backlash, only Brock had it scouted this time. Then they advanced on the finish from Backlash by having Cody roll through into a jackknife, which Brock kicked out of. Then, like, later on in the match, I don't know, I just thought it was fucking tremendous the way that they did it. I don't even want to go through it spot by spot. Brock continuously going back for that Kimura lock. At one point, he finally gets it on, and then Cody tries to reverse the pressure. Brock rolls through. Now he has him center of the ring, and he has all the leverage. And this was the first time that he had the Kimura on, where I thought Cody was maybe even going to tap this time. Eventually, he finally gets to the ropes. I thought that was really good. They work back around into the Kimura again. When they first got back into the Kimura, I was like, they're sort of revisiting it and stuff. But then when they did the finish with Cody passing out, I was like, boom, I like it. We get a return. Both guys look great coming out of it. I think Brock is just on fire in this angle with Cody. Like, he is doing some of his best work. I mean, he's really been doing
invested.
great work for a long time. But yeah, it does feel like he's invested. Like, he feels, you know, more invested than he's felt probably since SummerSlam against Roman Reigns.
Yeah, right.
So that's how I think, you know, I ended up giving this match an A-. I really liked it. It's got a Juicy Boy recommendation. Go out of your way to check it out, because I can't fucking do it justice, brother.
Why is it this is twice now that you've done a Juicy Boy recommendation? I have chastised you over this the last few times that we've had reviews together. Where's my point on a 45-degree angle? Not straight ahead, 45-degree angle like that.
It's
on a diagonal.
Oh, like that. Go out of your, okay.
No, it's too late. You've ruined it. You've ruined it. I used to really get excited about Juicy Boy recommendations. Now I hate them. I hate them. So dramatic. Okay, let's get to our main event of the evening here, Juicy Boy. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn defending against Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline. 26 minutes, 25 seconds. Take it away, Juicy Boy.
Okay, the Bloodline and Roman Reigns more specifically are the centerpiece act of the entire territory in modern form. This territory, if the WWE is a territory, it is Roman Reigns and the Bloodline's territory. Like that, the WWE is known as being their place of work, the place where those particular wrestling superstars operate. The WWE and, you know, Roman Reigns, the Bloodline themselves, they've all done a great job together at marketing that idea of the fact that the Bloodline own the WWE. They essentially have control over everything because Roman Reigns has so much leverage and bargaining power, because he put in the 10 years of being the top guy, whether or not the fans liked it. And that seems to be the rationale that he and others are using for this power trip, this power that has went to his head, you know, and has been there since he made his heel turn when he returned several years ago now. This is honestly a masterclass in storytelling, in the sense of Roman starting off in the match. Eventually he tags out. I was just waiting for when he was going to tag out. He doesn't do a damn thing. Tags out. Gets back on the apron. Solo starts off. Next time you see Roman, he fucking clocks the shit out of Kevin Owens from behind while being not the legal man, and then ditches out of the ring with a smile on his face before Owens can do anything. Stuff like that. He was just being an absolute fucking bitch, like an annoying bitch in like the best way. Like just he is the king and he expects to be catered to, and it's like audacious to even think that like they even should have to like compete for these titles. You know, that's the way that Roman Reigns carried himself throughout this match. There was also this weird element of like Reigns seems to treat Solo Sikoa better than he's been treating the Usos, but there's still this undercurrent of him like just expecting greatness out of Solo Sikoa, like despite Solo's relative inexperience on the roster. And you could hear Roman from the apron, you know, saying things throughout the match like, shake it off, you know, like, get it together, get up. Like, really putting it on him, not really being supportive, but kind of like chastising and, you know, berating him. And I really thought that Roman Reigns' performance, even when he wasn't the legal man, was the linchpin of this match, although Owens and Zayn and everyone else involved did a great job too. I gave the match itself an A-. I think it's pretty tremendous. The only thing that I really disliked was Roman Reigns bouncing off of the ropes after taking a stunner and hitting a spear. The spear itself looked fucking pure, but like you can't give someone a fucking stunner, a stone cold stunner, because that's what it is, even if Stone Cold's not the one delivering it. You can't give someone a stone cold stunner and just have Roman Reigns bounce back off the ropes and deliver his own finisher when The Rock would never just no-sell a Stone Cold stunner and hit a rock bottom on Stone Cold. It's fucking ridiculous. Did not like that. Other than that, it gets an A-. It might have even been an A+ if it wasn't for that stupid fucking move. I want to quickly talk about the bit at the end. People probably aware of what happened by now. I loved it when Jimmy Uso finally, because it culminates from years ago in 2019 when all this bloodline stuff started with Roman abusing and beating the Usos into submission. Jimmy finally, you know, super kicking the shit out of Roman, and the place just fucking blows when he super kicks Roman, and you can sort of see Paul Heyman in the background like going, what the fuck? Jey Uso, of course, is going, what the hell, man? Because if anyone remembers all the way back in 2019, Jey Uso is the one who eventually submitted to Roman Reigns in order to protect his brother from further abuse by Roman Reigns. So he's now going, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You're ruining it all. We had our position here. We were safe. We were in the bloodline and shit. To my surprise, I initially thought there that Jey was going to turn on Jimmy.
Yeah,
but to my surprise, Jimmy ended up going, you're my brother. I love you. I'll always be with you. I've got to do this. Like he was doing it for them. And then boom, he super kicked the shit out of Roman again. And boom, the fucking place erupted again. What a pop. People still care about this bloodline storyline. This is what they probably needed to already do a month ago, but I'm glad that it happened here in a way because the Saudi fans get into it, and it's awesome to have, you know, a great moment for them. What a huge pop that was. I really liked it. One final nitpick before I finish up here. I don't like the ring announcements and entrances taking fucking 15 minutes. This show did not need to run for 3 hours and 28 minutes. It did not. It was 13 minutes into the broadcast by the time AJ Styles and Seth Rollins actually began wrestling. You know, they just spend so much time piss farting around. It's enough.
Yeah, they do that. They plod along too much. And again, as I said earlier, like there was, so an hour, well, 3.5 hours is 210 minutes. So 96 and a half minutes worth of wrestling. That means that there was more time where there wasn't wrestling on this show than there was when there was wrestling. Thankfully, I was able to skip through the show because I watched it after it was already over. But
Yeah.
fuck, man. Yeah, they plot along too much. Anyhow, I thought this was match of the show. Again, the story implemented into the match makes it more suspenseful. It's suspenseful tenfold. That's what I got from like the Owens match with Reigns at Royal Rumble. That's what I got from the Sami match. That's what I got from, you know, what happened at WrestleMania, etc. Because there's so much story involved in all of this. It's you know, you get more invested. And that's why I like to say, you know, story means more than just a good wrestling match where they do cool moves. Fuck off. I did not see. Sorry, before I get to that, the psychology with Reigns and Sikoa, I really liked this where you know, they work on Zayn. Zayn's copping the heat. He gets thrown to the outside. Sikoa goes after him, beats the shit out of him, throws it back in the ring. Then same when Sikoa's got him in the ring, throws him to the outside, you know, distracts the referee. Reigns gets on Zayn, and eventually, you know, that tactic no longer worked out when Sami saw it coming a third time, managed to sidestep Sikoa, got so close for the tag, but then he got cut off again. I really like that. See, it's the ups and downs.
Yeah.
So I did not see Jimmy super kicking Reigns coming, so that's a nice surprise. But I have to say, Solo Sikoa really shone for me in this. This young dude was in NXT a year and a half ago, losing to fucking. Oh, I can't remember who he lost to. Was it Zion Quinn? I don't know. You know, and now he's just main evented in front of a massive stadium and held his own, and he kept in character the whole time. It's rare that a young person in the business remembers to stay in character the whole time whilst trying to remember all the spots.
He is good at that. He has like a future, I think. I think he has a like same as the Usos and Roman. I think he actually has a long-term future ahead of him in WWE.
I fucking agree. Reigns is still the best. I don't care what anybody has to say.
He is, man.
He is. He's the best, man.
Vince knows how to pick him. It's weird.
Fucking WWE stands.
It's so.
Like,
it's
fuck
so,
up, man. It's true though. In this case.
I don't know whether Vince just actually has some weird thing where he just knew Roman was going to be great, or whether Roman managed to like rise to the greatness that was eventually.
The problem is, bro, apparently Vince was the only one that didn't want him to turn heel. And since he turned heel, he became the best. That's all it took.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
yeah.
like
So,
Vince...
you know, I do think that we're definitely seeing with Triple H's booking like the result of what a fresh person with the book can do, because you notice little things that he's doing. They're acting like championships matter. They're mentioning when's the last time this person was pinned, who won the last time that these two people wrestled. You hear them mention those things on commentary, sprinkled throughout now that you didn't before, and that's refreshing.
Yeah, I hope this is the end of this Sami Kevin bloodline angle. It has to be the end.
It's enough, man. It's
I now we get the inner fighting angle. Now maybe we're gonna get Reigns and Sikoa against the Usos at Money in the Bank, but like fuck, man, like Reigns hasn't defended the belt since WrestleMania. Like, will he even wrestle on Money in the Bank? You know, I don't know.
I'd have to say so. They're going to be in London, like that's big money.
Yeah, hopefully. But you know, that would be interesting if it's the Usos against Sikoa and Reigns at Money in the Bank. There we go, Juicy Boy. We've come to the end of the review here. And now it's time for your final rating and final thoughts, but your final rating out of 10.
Well, I'd say that what I was just discussing a moment ago would constitute my final thoughts, but my final rating out of 10 is going to be an 8. I thought that the worst match on this show was Rhea versus Natalya, but it can't even really be counted as a match. It was more of an angle. And then every other match was at minimum a C grade. And, you know, there were 2 matches that I gave an A grade to. I really enjoyed this show, and I really enjoyed the crowd. And, you know, I thought this was a decent show.
Yeah,
So-
very good, bro. Very good. I wonder how much Dominic got paid to fly all the way over to be out there for 1 minute and 10 seconds and not really have to do anything.
I like to think that it was still like an amount of money that he'd appreciate.
It's like, imagine it's like 45 grand because of how much money that they're getting paid for the show just to be out there for 1 minute and 10 seconds. You just made bank on doing nothing. I'm echoing your sentiments, bro. I'm giving an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed the show very much. Loved the last match, and Trish Stratus, she won. Like, that's all I really wanted was for her to win, bro. She had to win.
I
for the
also
fans
popped
of the Attitude Era, man. Come on.
I also popped when she won because I was expecting a Becky victory. So
Exactly,
yeah.
bro. Well, there we have it, Juicy Boy. Thanks so much for joining me here today for the review.
Yeah, no fucking worries, mate.
And thank all of you out there. Please check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com. Also, there's a link in the description below to go check out our Patreon. Yes, we have some videos on Patreon now. It's only $3 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee a day, whatever it is that some people say. Like, you know, 30 days, $3.
Yes.
Geez, how much? That's like barely, you can't even get a cup of coffee for that amount every day. So, mate,
No,
you got to check it
can't.
out. We've got some stuff on there. We're going to be adding more content. So please check that out. And once again, I'm Karlifornia. This is mother freaking Juicy Boy. This is the WZWA Network. And we will see you down the road. Thank you.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.